My beloved child, come closer. Be still for a moment. Let the noise of the world fade, let the questions rest, let the ache in your chest soften just enough so you can hear me. I am whispering to you now, not because I am far away, but because I am near, near enough to speak softly, near enough to touch the places you hide from everyone else. I know your heart. I know how deeply you love. I know how much you hoped, how much you waited, how many silent prayers you carried into the night. I see you even when you feel unseen. I love you, my child. Not in a fragile way. Not in a way that changes with moods or moments. I love you with a love that existed before your tears ever fell, before this story ever began. Before his name ever entered your life. My love for you is steady, unshaken, complete. Yet I know you are wrestling with a painful truth, one that keeps you awake when the world sleeps. His heart is still bound. And that truth hurts more than you expected it to. You did not imagine the connection. You were not foolish for hoping. You were not weak for loving deeply. I gave you a heart that feels fully, and that is not a flaw. It is a reflection of me. But hear me now with gentleness and honesty. Loving someone does not mean they are ready to love you in the way you deserve. Wanting you does not always mean choosing you. And affection does not always mean freedom. I see the way you replay conversations. Searching for meaning between the lines. I see how you cling to small signs, small gestures, small promises that felt like hope. I know how confusing it is when his words draw you close but his heart remains tethered elsewhere. You feel chosen one moment and distant the next. You feel seen, then suddenly invisible. That back and forth has exhausted your spirit more than you admit. My child, I need you to understand something important. You are not losing because someone cannot let go of another. You are not lacking because his heart is divided. This is not a reflection of your worth. This is a reflection of his unresolved past. What is bound in him is not something you can untie by loving harder, waiting longer, or sacrificing yourself more. I know you have asked me, why would you let me feel this if it was not meant to last? And I answer you with compassion, not judgment. Some connections come not to stay, but to reveal. To show you the depth of your capacity to love. To expose wounds that still need healing. To teach you what you should never again settle for. This season is not a punishment. It is a preparation. Listen carefully now. When a heart is still bound to another, it cannot fully hold you, no matter how sincere the intention. You feel this tension because part of him reaches for you, while another part remains elsewhere. And that division is not something you were meant to carry. I did not create you to live in emotional waiting rooms, wondering when you will finally be chosen completely. You have been patient. You have been understanding. You have told yourself stories to make the pain bearable. You have said, maybe time will change this. Maybe love will heal it. But my child, time does not heal what someone refuses to release. Love does not free what someone is still clinging to. Only truth and willingness can do that. I see how this has affected the way you see yourself. How you have started questioning whether you are enough. Whether you are too much. Whether you should be quieter, softer, more accommodating. I need you to stop that right now. You do not need to shrink to be loved. You do not need to compete with a memory. You do not need to prove your value to anyone whose heart is not available. I love you too much to let you believe that partial love is all you deserve. There is a reason your spirit feels unsettled. There is a reason peace has been slipping through your fingers. It is not because you are doing something wrong. It is because your soul recognizes misalignment. You were created for a love that is present, clear, and free. Anything that keeps you in constant doubt is not from me, my child. I am not asking you to harden your heart. I am not telling you to become bitter or cold. I am asking you to become honest, with yourself and with me. You can acknowledge that He cares and still accept that His heart is not ready. You can honor what was real without chaining yourself to what cannot grow. I know the fear that rises when you think of letting go. You fear emptiness. You fear regret. You fear that walking away means losing something rare. But hear this truth: what is truly meant for you will not require you to abandon your peace. It will not keep you guessing. It will not make you feel second to someone who is no longer present. I am not cruel for revealing this to you. I am kind. I am protecting you from wasting your tenderness on a situation that cannot fully receive it. I am guarding the future I have prepared for you, one that requires your heart to be whole, not worn down by waiting. You keep asking me for a sign. And here it is: clarity is a form of love. This awareness you are gaining is not meant to hurt you, but to free you. You cannot build a future with someone who is still living in the past. And you cannot heal someone by breaking yourself open piece by piece. Rest now. Stop trying to fix what is not yours to fix. Stop carrying responsibility that was never placed on you. His journey is His. His healing is His. And your calling is to remain aligned with the truth of who you are and what you deserve. I am with you in the grief that follows this realization. I do not rush you through it. Cry if you need to. Mourn what you hoped it would become. I collect every tear, none of them are wasted. But do not confuse grief with failure. Sometimes the bravest act of love is choosing yourself. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not missing out. I am working in ways you cannot yet see, loosening attachments, strengthening your discernment, reshaping your expectations so that when the right love comes, you will recognize it not by confusion, but by peace. One day, you will look back and understand why this could not go further. You will thank me for the restraint you did not understand at the time. You will see how close you came to settling for less than the fullness I intended for you. Until then, lean into me. Let me fill the spaces where hope feels thin. Let me remind you daily that you are chosen by me. Completely and without hesitation. No divided heart can diminish the way I see you. I love you, my child. And because I love you, I will never lead you into a love that keeps you small, uncertain, or waiting in the shadows. Trust me with the ache. Trust me with the unanswered questions. Trust me enough to release what is bound, so your own heart can be free. Stay with me. Walk gently. And remember this always: the love meant for you will meet you with open hands, not a guarded heart. My child, I am still here. I did not step away after telling you the truth. I remained, quietly, faithfully, watching your heart try to absorb what your mind already sensed. I know after my whisper came a deeper ache, the kind that sits heavy and silent. That ache is not weakness. It is the sound of your heart waking up to honesty. Breathe with me for a moment. Let me sit with you in this space where hope and grief are tangled together. You are not alone in this in-between place. I am nearer now than ever, because this is where you need me most. You keep wondering if you should have loved differently, spoken differently, waited longer. You replay moments, thinking if you had been more patient, more understanding, more gentle, maybe his heart would have loosened its grip. But my child, love does not fail because it is sincere. It fails only when it is asked to replace healing that someone has not yet chosen. You were never meant to be the one who frees him from his past. I saw you trying to be strong while quietly breaking. I saw you smile while your heart whispered questions you were afraid to ask out loud. I saw how you carried hope carefully, like something fragile, afraid that one wrong move would shatter it. That is a heavy burden to carry for love, and I never asked you to carry it alone. There is a reason I am drawing your attention now, not to shame you, not to frighten you, but to steady you. I want you to learn the difference between love that pulls you toward peace and love that keeps you in emotional suspense. One nurtures your soul. The other drains it slowly while promising that tomorrow will be better. You are not wrong for wanting him. Desire itself is not sin. But staying where you are constantly unsure, constantly waiting for clarity that never fully comes, slowly teaches your heart to accept uncertainty as normal. And that is not what I designed for you, my child. You are not meant to compete with a memory, a history, or a bond that has not been released. You are not meant to stand beside someone while feeling like you are standing alone. You are not meant to wonder whether today you will be chosen or postponed again. I know part of you still says, but there is something real here. And you are right. Something real existed. But not everything real is meant to continue. Some truths are temporary messengers. They arrive, they awaken, and then they ask to be released. I am asking you to listen to the quiet discomfort you have been trying to silence. That discomfort is wisdom forming. It is your spirit recognizing that love should not feel like waiting to be fully seen. It should not feel like standing at the edge, hoping someone finally turns and reaches for you with both hands. Do not be afraid of the stillness that comes after you stop reaching. At first it will feel empty, unfamiliar, even frightening. But within that stillness, I will rebuild you. I will remind you who you were before you started measuring your worth by someone else's readiness. You keep thinking letting go means losing love. But sometimes letting go is how love changes form, how it stops being pain and becomes understanding. You are not erasing what mattered. You are simply refusing to live inside something unfinished. My child, I am teaching you how to choose yourself without guilt. How to step back without hatred. How to walk away without closing your heart to the future. This is maturity of the soul, and it is sacred. I know you are tired. Tired of hoping. Tired of interpreting, tired of waiting for certainty. Come rest in me. Lay down the questions that have no answers yet. Let me carry what you no longer can. There will come a day when someone looks at you and does not hesitate. Someone whose heart is free, present, and ready. Someone who does not make you wonder where you stand. And when that day comes, you will understand why I could not allow you to settle here, half fulfilled and quietly hurting. Until then, stay close. Let me heal the places this situation touched. Let me teach you again how peace feels. You are not being left behind. You are being led forward, gently, lovingly, even when it feels like loss. I am still whispering to you, my child. And every whisper carries the same truth: you are deeply loved, completely seen, and never meant to live in the shadow of another heart. My child, remain with me a little longer. Do not rush past this moment just because it feels quiet. Silence does not mean abandonment. Often it is where I do my deepest work. I know you are adjusting to a truth that feels heavier than words, and I am holding you while you do. You are beginning to notice how much energy you spent waiting for clarity, waiting for certainty, waiting for him to finally arrive fully. That waiting shaped your days more than you realized. It influenced your mood, your confidence, even the way you prayed. And now that I am gently loosening your grip, your heart feels exposed, unsure of what to do with all the space that remains. Do not fill that space with fear. That space is holy ground. It is where I am restoring you. You were never meant to be someone's emotional refuge while they kept their deepest loyalties elsewhere. You were never meant to carry someone through their unresolved past at the cost of your present peace. I see how often you told yourself, just a little longer, believing love meant endurance without limits. But love without boundaries slowly turns into self-betrayal, and I do not want that for you, my child. I want you whole. I know there are moments when your heart still reaches for him automatically, out of habit more than desire. Be patient with yourself. Healing is not a straight line. Some days you will feel strong and clear, other days the ache will return without warning. That does not mean you are moving backward. It means your heart is learning how to detach with tenderness instead of force. You do not have to hate him to release him. You do not have to erase him to move forward. You only have to stop placing yourself in a position where you are waiting to be chosen. Notice how peace begins to return in small, quiet ways when you stop overextending. Notice how your breath feels lighter when you are not checking for signs, not reading between the lines, not measuring your worth by his availability. That peace is not emptiness. That peace is alignment. I am teaching you discernment now, the ability to recognize what feels loving on the surface but is draining underneath. This wisdom will protect you in the future. It will help you recognize love that is mutual, grounded, and free. Love that does not confuse you or keep you guessing. Love that meets you where you are instead of asking you to wait in uncertainty. My child, you are allowed to want more. You are allowed to expect clarity. You are allowed to desire a love that is not divided. These desires are not demands, they are reflections of the dignity I placed within you. I know part of you still wonders, what if he changes? And I answer you gently, if he does. That journey must happen without you holding the door open at the cost of your own healing. Change that is real does not need you to remain wounded while waiting for it. Trust me enough to let go of the version of the future you imagined. I have not taken love away from you. I am refining your path toward it. What I am preparing will not require you to doubt yourself or shrink your needs. Stay with me as you learn to choose peace over potential, clarity over confusion, self-respect over longing. These choices are not losses, they are seeds. You are becoming stronger, wiser, more rooted than before. And one day, when love meets you again, you will not feel anxious or uncertain. You will feel calm, safe, seen. And you will know, without questioning, that this is what love was always meant to feel like. I am proud of you, my child. Even in your confusion. Even in your tears. Especially in your courage to listen when the truth whispered, I am still here. My child, I feel the quiet shift happening inside you. It is subtle, almost unnoticeable at first, like the way dawn enters the sky before the sun is fully seen. Something in you is loosening its grip, even as another part of you still aches. That tension is not failure. It is transition. And I am walking with you through it, step by step. There are moments when memories return unexpectedly. A tone of voice. A shared silence. A promise that once felt warm. When those moments rise, do not fight them with shame or anger. Let them pass through you like waves. They do not mean you are meant to go back. They mean you once loved sincerely, and sincerity leaves echoes. Even echoes fade. You are learning now that love should not cost you your sense of self. You are remembering who you are when you are not trying to be enough for someone whose heart is still divided. That remembering may feel unfamiliar at first. You might ask yourself, who am I without this hope? And I answer you softly, you are still you, whole, worthy, deeply loved, without needing to wait for anyone to choose you. I know the nights can be harder. Night has a way of amplifying thoughts the day keeps quiet. When sleep escapes you and your mind wanders back to what could have been, come to me. Speak to me honestly. I am not offended by your confusion or your lingering attachment. I am patient with the parts of you that are still catching up to what your spirit already knows. My child, there is no deadline on your healing. Do not rush yourself to be over it. Healing that is hurried becomes fragile. Healing that is allowed becomes strong. Let me tend to you gently, layer by layer, until the wound no longer defines the way you love. You are beginning to see that consistency matters. Presence matters. Emotional availability matters. These are not small details, they are the foundation of real love. I am reshaping your expectations so you will no longer be impressed by intensity alone, but by steadiness, clarity, and peace. Do not confuse the absence of drama with the absence of love. The love I am preparing for you will feel calmer than what you knew before. It will not trigger anxiety or keep you guessing. At first, that calm may feel strange. But it will not hurt you. It will heal you. There will be moments when you wonder if you made the right choice by stepping back, by no longer reaching first, by no longer waiting. In those moments, look at your peace. Look at how your breath has slowed. Look at how your heart is slowly learning to rest again. Peace is not loud, but it is honest. My child, I am also healing the part of you that believed love must be earned through endurance. You do not have to suffer to be worthy of commitment. You do not have to prove your patience to be chosen. Love that is meant for you will meet you with equal effort. Not quiet excuses. Trust that what feels like an ending is making room. Trust that what you released was not your blessing, but the attachment to a story that could not carry you forward. I have not forgotten your prayers. I am answering them in a deeper way than you expected. Stay open, but not unguarded. Stay soft, but not self-sacrificing. Stay hopeful, but anchored in truth. These balances will protect your heart as you move ahead. I am proud of the way you are learning to listen, to me, to your own spirit, to the peace that returns when you honor what you feel. You are not being hardened by this season. You are being refined. I am still whispering, my child. And every whisper is leading you closer to a love that does not hesitate, does not divide, does not keep you waiting. Stay with me. The path ahead is gentler than the one you are leaving, my beloved child. Come rest now. This is not an ending wrapped in emptiness, this is a closing wrapped in care. I have walked with you through every layer of this truth, and I am still holding you as it settles gently into your heart. You have not been abandoned in this realization. You have been accompanied. I know there is still a softness in you that wonders if letting go means you loved in vain. It does not. Love given sincerely is never wasted. It shapes you, deepens you, teaches you what matters. What you offered was real. What you felt was true. And because it was real, it deserved to be met with a heart that was fully present. The fact that it was not does not diminish you, it protects you now. You are beginning to understand that some bonds feel powerful not because they are meant to last, but because they awaken us. They stir dormant parts of the soul. They call attention to what we long for. And once that awakening is complete, they gently release us, even if it hurts at first. This was one of those bonds. I want you to know this clearly, so it no longer troubles you in quiet moments. You did not fail. You were brave enough to love. You were honest enough to hope. You were wise enough, in time, to listen when peace began asking for more room. That is strength. That is growth. His heart being bound was not something you could undo. And it was never meant to be your burden. You are not here to rescue someone from a past they are not ready to leave. You are here to live fully, to love freely, to walk forward without carrying chains that were never yours. I am proud of the way you chose truth even when it trembled your heart. I am proud of the way you listened instead of numbing yourself with excuses. I am proud of the way you allowed grief without letting it harden you. These choices are shaping a future you cannot yet see, but one that will feel safe when it arrives. There will come a time, quiet, ordinary, unexpected, when you will notice that the ache is gone. Not dramatically, not all at once, but softly. You will realize you are no longer waiting. You are no longer checking. You are no longer wondering. And in that moment, you will smile, because you will feel free, and then, love will come again. Not as confusion. Not as divided attention. But as clarity. As steadiness. As a presence that does not pull you into doubt. It will recognize you immediately, not because you proved yourself, but because you will both be ready. Until that day, walk with me. Let me be enough while you heal. Let me remind you daily that you are chosen, whole, and deeply cherished. You never needed to compete. You never needed to wait in uncertainty. You were always worthy of a love that meets you fully. I love you, my child. And I always will. Not halfway. Not conditionally. Not someday. But completely, now and forever.